Kate, I'm so intrigued by the name. I think it's a fabulous name, CloudPeeps. How did it come about?
Well, it's funny because when I was saying that I had the idea in 2011, that's when I registered the domain name. So it's actually not very um, current. Like I think it's more of a cutesy name. So, but
Which I like.
yeah,
Cute
but
too.
and it's also I think with this kind of thing you have to be a little bit literal. So
Yes.
it's as you were saying, it's like those virtual people. So
It seems like you can go to CloudPeeps and you can find resources from quite a lot, from everything from like social media management to PPC management campaigns to copywriting, like you name it. Is there a particular area that you get increasingly demand in? Do you see a shift in the market? What are people just like really demanding at the moment from a business perspective?
Well, I think everyone's always concerned with growth. So a lot of I did a master's in marketing and have kind of come from that background. But marketing as a term is almost like dying down as people become obsessed with this whole construct of growth. So we are seeing a lot of requests for people that are concerned with building and growing their business through marketing, different marketing channels. And then we're also seeing a lot of requests for really simple web design.
Oh, really? I read that you are a self-proclaimed event marketing, or should I say, organising junkie in remission. Tell me, what do you do to get your fixes these days? Are you organising your friends and family's events?
No, I've actually started with the Aussie Founders Network in San Francisco again. So we're doing some lunches and panels and things like that. And the whole Freelance Friday community. It's a global co-working community that meets once a month in now 12 different cities around the world and growing, where a lot of independent professionals, creatives, entrepreneurs, and freelancers get together and co-work. I absolutely love bringing people together. I think that's definitely one of the things that in everything I do, I love to bring people together and build communities.
Yes.
So
I mean, and Fetch kind of goes back to that because it's about obviously telling people about what's the latest events in their area to their industry. Is there kind of a plan with CloudPeeps to one day branch into the event scene, or are you happy with it in the CloudPeeps as it is?
well, I think that's the natural kind of progression of Freelance Friday. I see that as our offline community, so we'll have events, conferences, things like that. And CloudPeeps is really about the online infrastructure and platform that allows people to build their businesses.
To that notice, and I love the name again. You come up with these great names, Freelance Friday. How can people get involved in that? Is it freelancefriday.com?
It's .co, so
Okay, lovely. And can they sign up? Is there like a
yeah, they can sign up, and there's a Facebook group that has a lot of the people involved in different cities. So as you get to the website, click on the city that you're in, and you can also apply to become an organizer and take it to your own city.
Oh, very cool. So you're recruiting brand ambassadors almost.
Exactly.
This is fabulous. So is it every Friday, every second Friday, every kind of rotating?
It rotates, but it's once a month on Friday. So, and it really depends on the city. We want to streamline it a little bit to the final Friday of a month, but we're really becoming almost, I don't know if you're familiar with Creative Mornings, but
absolutely.
it was originally started to be after Creative Mornings, so a lot of those creative professionals could come and co-work, and the schedule's a bit out of whack.
Well, that's all right. We're all like freelancers and entrepreneurs, so all our schedules are a little out of whack. So that suits just fine. How long has it been around?
It's been around for about 12 months now.
Okay.
So it's really started out of San Francisco where we were getting together my local team and just working, and then we've really expanded from there.
That's awesome.
We've had a couple events in New York. And
so is it a lot of your cloud peeps? You bring them together, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's really about allowing people to get together locally, because as a freelancer you can often be working from home or you can be working from a co-working space, but there is that kind of lack of a team, and we really want to allow the freelancers to form teams and mini agencies and pods. And
you've been noted as saying, and we all know, that by 2020 40% of the working community will be remote. So obviously you have formed CloudPeeps in anticipation for this. What are other things other than working remote? Do you see big shifts, because I see you as a thought leader in this area, as big shifts in the working community area other than working remotely that you see happening?
Yeah. So with that stat, it's important to note it's about being a freelancer or a contingent worker.
Okay,
So
okay.
not remote as such, but
Okay.
it also includes people that, as we talk about this gig economy and the moonlighting.
I love
So
that.
someone might have a full-time job, but they might be a Yelp Elite ambassador on the side. They might have a blog that they're maintaining. They might be a writer. So
Yes.
it's really about people. They might even be an Uber driver, right?
Right,
So
right.
it's really about people having different sources of jobs.
Multitasking.
Yeah, so there was a great quote which was, our parents' generation might have had one job in their lifetime.
Yeah.
Then their generation under that might have had 5 jobs, and now people have 5 jobs at any one time.
Right.
So it's
right.
really kind of like
yes.
moving towards this, like the concept of maybe less away from full-time jobs into work that needs to be done. And I was at a remote work conference 2 days ago, and Dell were actually presenting, and they want to have, by 2020, 50% of their workforce remote. So this is
Wow.
it's not just some fringe thing.
No.
This is really about big companies seeing the value of working remotely and what the future of work entails as well.
Absolutely. And to that note, on a bigger question, do you believe that the enterprise will exist in 50 to 100 years?
Well, I'm a bit of a believer in that it's becoming decentralized and that it's really about individuals from here. So large corporate structures, I mean, even when you look at Google and companies like that, they are forming smaller teams within the large organizations. So I think we're going to a more node approach, and that it'll be individuals first, not companies first, and you'll see the explosion. I mean, they say small is the new big, but this explosion of these independent professionals that attach to different projects and different jobs and companies to get the job done. Yeah, and to your question before, I mean, one of the things that's happening so rapidly is the automation of certain tasks and jobs. So bots have absolutely exploded this year with automation of different tasks, and now, I mean, you can get your calendar scheduled, and AI is massive. So
AI, wow, that's a huge game changer.
So maybe the bots will take over one day, and we'll all find ourselves with a bit jobless.
I know, it's incredible. And there's the virtual avatar scenario.
Yes.
Where, instead of going to work yourself, just send your avatar in to do your tasks for you. It's quite incredible.
Maybe in 10 years' time, we won't even be sitting here doing this interview.
Yeah.
Your virtual bot and my bot will be just talking.
What sort of advice would you give startups that may be looking to launch? And it's a kind of generic question because obviously every startup's different. But what's the main thing for a startup that's looking to launch here in the US, maybe coming from Australia or Europe? What sort of advice would you give them?
I think that you've got to kind of look at where you can get access to the resources that you need. So if you're looking, for instance, to maybe get access to banks and finance, like the West Coast is still connected, but New York is great for that. Or if you're looking for
fintech.
Fintech or fashion, or if you're looking for access to some of like the leading AI engineers, like maybe you do have to go to Silicon Valley. If you're looking for a really nice smaller community that you want a good work-life balance or life-work balance, places like Boulder and Austin and all of these other ecosystems are exploding.
Absolutely.
So I think it's also important to see what stage you're at as an individual. I mean, I started startups when I was in my 20s. As I come into my 30s, and there's a lot of other founders going right through, they have different things they're looking at, stuff like families as well, and where they can have an affordable living situation, a balance.
It's super important because as entrepreneurs and founders, you've got to keep your wellness, number one. You've got to also keep your friendships and your networks. It's all that, and also your work. Actually, I interviewed a woman from Google the other day, and she said they asked her what was the most notable thing you've done today, and she's like, actually, finally positioning my family as an equal part of my work life, and how that's then affected her work life. So I feel like there is a realization, and maybe that's why the whole freelancer, permalancer thing has come about. Having a balanced work life, being able to invest more time and energy into the things when you need to, and then also your family and your...
and I mean, that's what CloudPeeps is really all about. We have actually about 75% of females in the community. So it's really about people that are looking for this freedom and flexibility to make choices in their life, and they're actively choosing. This is not, sometimes people they think freelancing is that, you're in between jobs or unemployed.
Right, or you didn't quite get the job you wanted, so you're freelance. But no, it's a permanent stay.
People are wanting this lifestyle because they're seeing that there's not really sometimes a future that they value within a large entity working the 9 to 5, which it isn't even 9 to 5 sometimes, it's more like 8 to 8, you know. So
especially in New York.
Yeah, so we see it, and millennials are now the largest component of the workforce. So we're seeing a lot more managers now that are millennials. We're seeing a lot more companies that have a different varied construct than they once were or did have, and I think that's where we're seeing the change happen, where people are looking to new ways of working. They'd rather work smart, not long.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, corporations are getting on board with that. They're realizing, you know, that they have to kind of diversify and also let their workers, if they want to be remote, because they may lose them to companies like yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
well, they've got to be competitive now. It's not, you know, we're in the days right now, like just simply being remote and offering remote opportunities can attract great talent. Soon it'll be just part of it, just as though people thought culture was foosball tables and beer on Friday nights, and it's like people aren't interested in that definition of culture. People want meaning and purpose and true freedom.